Good to go, mate.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Thank you so much, guys. Good evening to all of you in the UK and good morning to those in Australia. Awesome to see so many faces. It's unbelievable how many we've got on tonight. So, guys, we'll kick straight into it because I know it's got plenty of things to do. Really exciting call tonight. We've got two very special gentlemen on board who've had great success in Isogenics and creating huge businesses at huge speed as well. Pete and I and Bruce on the call tonight. All three of us is building our own businesses. We're very excited and eager to talk about as well. Peter Jordan's going to be talking a little bit about that today, but we're also going to have a dietitian who's been using the products for 2 years. Come and have a chat to you all about it as well. So give you a bit more of an insight of how the products work and why we're all raving about them so much. But Pete, I'd like you to flow, mate, and share your story with the products and how it all started for you.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much. Can you guys all hear me? My internet's not great. Yeah, perfect. So thank you so much, everyone, for jumping on the call. As Bruce said, I'm just really going to give you a bit of an overview of my own story and journey with the products, and just a basic sort of explanation of how it all works. The awesome thing about Isogenics is that they really do provide all the information that you would ever need, on all the ins and outs of the products. So yeah, we've got, in a couple of weeks, we've got a nutritionist coming on that will do an amazing call that will really sort of paint the picture of what it's all about. But there's also so many resources that, the person that introduced you or got you onto this call, they'll be able to share those resources with you as well. But yeah, just to give you a bit of a background of myself, I know quite a few of you on the call. I used to work in the fitness industry over in the UK, which is how we know a lot of you guys over there. And yeah, when I came back to Australia, like after traveling for 3 years, I got into, a couple of different jobs that I wasn't really happy with. I started drinking a little bit too much, eating a little bit too much. And really kind of let everything go, as does happen for a few people. So I really sort of reached that tipping point where I was like, I really need to do something about this. And, being in the fitness industry, I definitely don't know everything, but I had definitely seen a lot of different products and programs and all that sort of stuff out there. So when I came across Isogenics, I was quite skeptical myself. It was Bruce Donachie, who's on this call at the moment, that first told me about it. And I kind of rejected it for quite some time. I thought I knew everything. But the fact was that his results were undeniable. I had seen him get to the same sort of point that I was at where, probably 10 to 13 kilos overweight, and not really happy with, how he was looking. And then after 30 days, it was just like he was a new person. Like he had dropped pretty much all of the excess weight. I hate to say it, but he was looking very good. And so I couldn't deny that. So I was like, okay, he's my really close friend. I trust him enough to give this a go and just see what it's like. When I first started it, I really just thought it was a weight loss program. And because I needed to lose weight, I was happy with that anyway. And so I started on the program. In the first week, the big changes that I started to notice was things like my sleep started to improve. So I would usually wake up 2 to 3 times a night, and wake up exhausted all throughout the day and would really need like 4 or 5 coffees just to get through. So that was the first thing that really changed for me. And then it was the natural energy throughout the day. So as I said, drinking 4 or 5 coffees a day is not something that's very healthy. But after that first week, I really didn't need them anymore. Like, of course, I love coffee, so I still drink it. But I don't need 4 or 5 coffees just to get through the day. And I started noticing the results really quickly. So I started shifting the body fat. But it was really in weeks 3 and 4 that it really hit home how incredible this program was. And the reason being is because originally, how I said, I thought it was a weight loss program. I thought that I would lose strength, that I would, lose muscle mass, all that sort of stuff. But it, in fact, became the opposite. So I started hitting PBs in the gym that I hadn't done, ever in week 3 and 4. I started, doing maximums on bench press and deadlift and all that sort of stuff. And I was just absolutely blown away by that. And then by the end of the 30 days, I had shifted about 9.5 kilos of body fat. I was stronger than I'd ever been, and I was just feeling absolutely incredible. And so I knew the program was really special. So I really started to learn more about it. I went to some events. I was really passionate about it. I started sharing it with people straight away. And then that was the really second big thing for me. It was starting to see my friends and family who were having the same results, and the same benefits. And that's when it really solidified the fact that this really did work. And so just to give you guys just a really quick overview of how the products work, the way that I like to kind of explain it is that it really addresses 2 major issues that we all face in today's society. The first is the fact that the food that we eat, you do your own research on this, it simply doesn't have the same nutrient value that it used to. And if you're looking back over the last 40 or 50 years, it's taken that amount of time for that to happen. So things like the minerals, the vitamins, the quality of protein, our bodies just simply aren't getting enough of all the essential nutrients to function optimally. And so that's one part of what this system does. It doesn't replace food altogether, which a lot of people believe. You're still eating awesome food all the time on this program. You're simply incorporating this into your everyday lifestyle to maximize your body's potential. And that's through, the highest quality natural ingredients. There's nothing artificial or synthetic in Isogenics. It's really derived from everything that's natural. They've got 45 full-time research scientists and nutritionists that develop these products. So they've got the best of the best people. And, it really just does really fill those gaps of what we're missing out on. And then the second part is the cleansing aspect. So the cleansing really addresses toxicity. So the toxicity is, obviously comes from the air that we breathe, the food that we eat, the things that we touch. Our bodies are highly toxic, and we're always absorbing and consuming these toxins. And so our bodies actually have a natural cleansing mechanism, which is a lot of the major organs in your body. But because we're consuming so many toxins on a daily basis, that's why people are struggling. So we're struggling with sleep, we're struggling with energy, we're struggling to lose body fat because your body actually stores fat to protect itself from those toxins. So the cleansing aspect really addresses that. So it essentially helps your body to become more efficient at the cleansing process. It's not like a colon cleanse where you're going to the toilet all the time or anything like that. It's a blend of botanical herbs that is formulated specifically just to make that process more efficient, to get rid of those excess toxins. And one great benefit, obviously, is it helps to really reduce body fat. If you research intermittent fasting, that's where the concept of cleansing comes from, and all the benefits of intermittent fasting are well beyond just weight loss. So it helps to improve your body's ability to absorb nutrition. It helps to remove toxins, remove excess body fat. And so when you combine the nutritional supplementation with the cleansing and healthy eating and exercise, it really it becomes a third and fourth dimension to what we're already trying to do at the moment, which is eating healthy and exercise. So it really it maximizes your potential, your body's potential to be performing at its best. because your body is the miracle. The products and, you know, the things that you consume just simply help your body to get there. And so that's really what it's all about. Like, in terms of the actual program itself, you start on a 30-day nutritional system. You've got a combination of superfood smoothies or shakes or whatever you want to call them. They're not like the things that you get at the chemist. They are complete macronutrient meals, and they've got the perfect balance of protein, carbs, good fats, minerals, vitamins, probiotics, prebiotics, the list goes on. Obviously, you know, the person that added you can send you all the information on that. So you're having 2 of those a day. You're having 2 snacks and a main meal. But obviously, everyone is different, so you can customize the system based on what your results want to be. And then you're also having a combination of different vitamins and minerals, and you're having 1 or 2 cleanse days a week, and you're incorporating that into your lifestyle. So that's really the core essence of how the system works and how the products work. Yeah, so the person that added you to this call, they can add you to an information and support page. There's loads of different links. There's one called isagenixhealth.com. So you can write that down if you like, you know, and you can go and check out every single thing about the products and the science behind the products. The main thing to know with any of those links that you get sent, it is going to be slightly different when it launches in the UK. So they'll have a core 30-day system is my belief. And then over time, they'll start launching the new products for you guys to have available there. So if anyone has any questions on the products, feel free to shout out now. The other thing is as well, so if you guys are interested in getting your hands on the products when it launches on day 1, which we believe will probably be about May or June, all you need to do is pre-register now, and that will really give you the first priority of the products. And to pre-register, it's simply your name, your address, your email address, phone number, and date of birth, just to put your basic details in the system. And then you get first priority of the products on day 1, where you'll just put your card details into the system, and you'll be able to order the products straight to your door. And yeah, so if you've got any other questions, guys, let me know. Otherwise, I'll pass it back over to Bruce.
Thank you very much, PJ. That was awesome. And really look forward to bringing on a dietitian, one of the dietitians who's using the products within Isagenix, to really go through in a bit more depth all the individual products that are most likely to be launched in the UK when it is launched. But next up is Allan Hilsinger, our mate. Got an interesting story, mate, because right now, I mean, 2.5 years, you hit top 100 income earners in all of Isagenix. 2 years, 9 months, Isagenix millionaire. So the list is unbelievable on your achievements thus far, and you were actually introduced by Jackson, who we'll be hearing about in a little while. But, mate, you went looking for this when Jackson came knocking on your door to share the product. So really curious to hear about your story, what you were doing beforehand, and where Isagenix is in your life now.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, PJ. You guys can hear me clear?
Yeah, mate, loud and clear.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry, I obviously have to jump on a little bit early and jump off. I have to get my girls off to school this morning. Where do I start? So, yeah, Jacko will share his story later. I coached Jackson in a basketball tournament in Malaysia a few years earlier. And we sort of stayed in touch, but not really, if you know what I mean. One of those people that you see, you say hello to. So we were friends, but not close friends, so to speak. And I wasn't looking at all. And Jackson approached me and said, hey, you know, look, I've got this opportunity for whether you're interested in the health, whether you're interested in the business. It's actually going into Asia as well. I'd love your advice. You know, just some thoughts around how I can really make an impact over in Asia. And I was like, no, I'm so busy, man. But you know what? I'll catch up with you sometime soon. And sort of just brushed it off. And as time went on, it was really interesting because I did start to notice that people were having conversations around, hey, you know, that person's looking good, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, they're doing Jackson's thing. And, you know, fast forward, anyway, a few months, and my wife and I were we just finished Christmas, and we're sitting there, and Larry's on my Facebook, and Don't ask me why she's on my Facebook. We still have not got to that 3 years later. Still have not worked out why she was on my Facebook. And she saw a photo of one of Jackson's friends who had lost some weight, and she looked and was like, wow, that's the exact transformation I want. What's going on there? And I basically explained what had gone on with Jackson. Fast forward, I met up with Jackson. We got started straight away. I turned up. My wife said, hey, it's shakes. I'm not doing this. And I'm like, well, we're already ordered. It's got a 30-day money-back guarantee, so we're doing it. You don't have to cook. So she's like, hey, if I don't have to cook, I'm in. We had amazing results, obviously lost the weight. And, PJ touched on some of those things that Isogenics bring. And it wasn't just the weight loss. It was the fact that I actually felt alive again. I was working a 60-hour job as the CEO of Gold Coast Basketball. We had 2 home-based businesses, 2 girls. So we were living a super busy life, but I was literally, I was burnt out. I was having 4 to 5 coffees a day, going to the vending machine, having a V or an energy drink. I'm not sure if they have Vs over there in the UK. Chocolates. So yeah, I was pretty much down and out. So it completely turned our life around in that 30-day period. And we messaged Jackson, sent him our photos, and said, "Man, thank you so much. You've completely changed our lives. Like, we'll never ever look back." We've ordered our second month, and Jackson's like, "Oh my God, look at these photos. This is just amazing." And he's like, "You got to share these photos." And I'm like, "No. You didn't get my point. What I was saying was, we love the products." And he's like, no, you got to share. Anyway, this went on for sort of a couple of days, going back and forth. And then eventually what Jackson said to me, and it stuck with me ever since. And it has really been a driver in everything we've done in this opportunity of Isogenics, is that he said, well, look, I get it. Okay, if you guys don't want to share, if you don't want to put your photos out there, all the rest of it, that's okay. I just want to ask you one question. If I'd never approached you, if I'd never spoken to you about Isogenics, how would you be feeling right now? And I was like, boom. He just it was absolute clean punch. And I was like, you know what? He's 100% right. Like, how selfish of us to actually know that we've completely transformed our lives, know how amazing we're feeling when we never thought that you're meant to feel that good as you're aging, and not to actually share it with our friends and family. So fast forward from that, we started sharing with friends and family. We turned up to one of the major events in Isogenics and saw the opportunity that arose with it. Saw how authentic it was. Saw how how much integrity everyone that was in Isogenics had, which is probably a massive thing for us. We'd always saw network marketing and gone, you know what, people just pitch and all the rest of it. But we started realizing that Isogenics actually really was based around the products first, around community, around really, impacting people's lives in a positive way. And we bought it all in. And as you said, fast forward to today, it's financially completely changed our lives as well.
Pete, you're on mute, mate.
Yeah,
I thought I saw PJ's
you don't need to be smart to do this business, that's for sure. So obviously you've just really basically touched on, the financial freedom aspects. I'm sure that a lot of people would love to hear a little bit more detail, not just about the money side of it, because the money's great, but it's what you can do. There's one of his children there. It's what you can do with the financial freedom, what that meant for you. And that kind of led into my question is, a lot of the people on this call, I'm sure, have young families or are wanting to have young families. So what did it mean for you to create that financial freedom? And secondly, how did you actually make this work? Given the fact that you were CEO of Queensland Gold Coast Basketball, online businesses, 2 young children. What were your drivers? How did you make it work? And what has it done for you in that sense as well?
Awesome questions, man. Let's start with the fact that obviously before I started Isogenics, I was working 60 hours a week. And then obviously we had our 2 other businesses. So I was like, get up in the morning, work on those businesses, come home late at night, work on those businesses. And then obviously working 60 hours in between. And realistically, the biggest thing I think out of everything for me when I look back on it was that I just wasn't there to be a father. And my girls at the time were 5 and 6 years old, and I just wasn't spending any time with them. They never saw me. So the relationship there was pretty average in the scheme of it. Average, probably over overstates it. So as far as what it's done impact-wise is obviously now I have the time freedom. I'm heading off here on this call because I have the choice to head off in this call and drop my girls off at school, and that's something that I'm super passionate about. So anytime that I'm not overseas or I'm not traveling to present somewhere, it's something that I refuse to miss is dropping my girls off at school. So it's something that I missed, obviously, in the first part of their lives was doing those kind of things. And so I'm very, very passionate about it. So that's probably the biggest thing is I now get to spend time with the girls. We travel the world quite often for different things. And the girls are not only able to come with us because of the time that we have, but able to come with us because financially we can afford to take them with us. The last Christmas we went off to, a lot of people in the UK would know of Lapland, Santa's village. So we went off there and we had Santa come into the room. And just seeing the kids, like what the finances have done for us as a family to be able to allow us to do those kind of things, just mind-blowing, seeing the kids' reactions and the smiles and the happiness and stuff like that. So anyone that's got kids, Isogenics offers you that opportunity to actually have the freedom to do what you want. I know that there's probably lots of other parents on this call that are thinking exactly the same way. If I could legitimately choose to spend as many hours as I want. You know what? Sometimes we choose not to spend the hours with our kids too, don't get me wrong. Because I know there's probably some people going, no, I wouldn't spend 24/7 with it. No, but it gives us choice. It really does give us choice. As far as building it, PJ, I think that's an interesting one too, because even to this day, we get a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm so busy. And that was my mentality when I first met Jacko. I always, to tell the full, component of it, I always liked, from the day one when Jackson explained this opportunity, I liked the concept of it. I liked, the potential of it. However, in my own mind, I was like, I'm not going to do that because it's just going to be too difficult. I've got the kids, I've got the businesses, I'm really focused on them. So it was really after I loved the products, and then I realized, you know what? I'm going to be either for the next 30 or 40 years working my butt off in the businesses which owned me, and they genuinely did. We had one business was very, very had grown to be significantly large, but it legitimately owned us as well. So I'm working full time, and the income that we were generating from that was like not even remotely close to what we're doing now with Isogenics. So then from the family point of view, one of the biggest things that we did was just engage the kids into it. So as soon as we decided that Isogenics was it, we decided to get rid of one business. So we sold off one business, and then we downscaled on the second business. And I should probably timeline that a little better. As soon as we started sharing Isogenics and had some income coming in, then we started looking at downscaling as it sort of progressed. We didn't get totally rid of the main business. Basically we just engaged the kids into it. We just talked to them about what we were looking to achieve. We set little rewards. So we would still spend family time with them doing certain little things as rewards. We set some rewards about like going to Disneyland, some big rewards. And as soon as we put the kids to bed, it was like we would get to work. So we would have some time each day where it would be like, hey, this is the time with our kids. This is why we're doing this. But then we would just get to work. As soon as they were in bed, we'd get to work. We'd get up early. We'd get to work. When I was at work, when I was doing other stuff, I was still working on Isogenics, literally any pocket of time that I could get at the start. And then obviously as it continued to grow and the Isogenics income continued to grow, we downscaled the businesses. Larry and I left our jobs, and obviously that enabled us to grow even further. Not that I'm saying leave your job for Isogenics, please. I'm not saying that. But as the income from Isogenics comes in, it allows you that flexibility to go, well, you know what? That income is significantly more than what I'm earning. So it allows you that flexibility to make those changes.
Yeah, awesome, mate.
Absolutely. One thing.
Yeah. Sorry, Bruce. I just had actually a couple of people message me just then, just in terms of like kind of like a show me the money type question. So obviously this has created the time of financial freedom. Like, are you happy to share your actual numbers in terms of, the income that you've created and that sort of stuff as well?
Yeah. So we started sharing in March, or the very end of February, start of March 2014. In October, we'd earn our first $1 million US with Isogenics. And you know what? It's not typical. It's not normal. It was just that we were very much willing to give the time and the energy to it and really get after it. But it is certainly possible. So, and we're not the only ones. You'll hear Jacko. I think Jacko was faster than us. I think he might have done it. I'll let him tell his story. I won't spoil it. Jacko was faster than us. We just followed Jacko pretty much. Right now we earn, obviously it varies being the income that we get from week to week. We earn anything from US or Aussie. US around about 10,000. US around about 10,000 a week. Obviously we're translating that into, wherever you are in the UK or whether you're in Australia watching this. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at right now. And our goals over the next couple of years are to extend that. So we're earning 1 million annually a year. That's pretty much the goal.
I can live off that, Al.
Yeah. I mean, it's life-changing, and obviously it's now allowed us for me, what I also love is that now it's allowed us the freedom to be able to, I'm really passionate about investing and property and these kind of things, which don't take a lot of time. But what it's now allowed us to do is not only have the financial freedom to live the life that we like, but it's also allowed us the opportunities to then look at some of these other investments and things that are not necessarily time-consuming, that aren't businesses as such, to be able to invest into us too, which is what I'm really excited about as it continues to grow and expand as well. So yeah, really exciting.
Al, just quickly, I mean, one thing I love to add to that is whenever I see your family and your kids, they're never not smiling, mate. They're just constantly smiling, running around, the center of attention in the room, having a ball. It definitely represents what I was be able to create as a family, without a doubt. But Al, just quickly, you've also grown a significant business in Singapore. Obviously, it is a global opportunity. But now that the UK is launching and opening, what excites you about that? And what does this mean for everyone in the UK? The opportunity that's coming.
You get me fired up talking about that kind of stuff, PJ. Not PJ, Bruce. Okay. So let me just start with why we decided to build in Singapore. And that was at that time, global expansion to us. Right now, Isogenics is in 12 countries. Now you got a lot of other network marketing companies out there, and people are like, "Oh, I'm in such and such a network marketing company. They're in 70 countries. I'm so excited because I can build a global business." And they're like, "Isogenics is only in 12 countries," and I'm like, "Do you not get that by being in only 12 countries that you are going to be one of the first people to have an opportunity to build a downline and build teams in those other 60 countries?" So for people in the UK, you guys are coming on as as region number 13. It's crazy because not only did you have the UK, then you're going to expand into Europe, which has 800 and something million people throughout Europe. And then you've got all of Asia. So right now, even with Asia, because the fact is that there's so many people, I'm sure all of you guys on this call know someone who is Asian as well. And right now in Asia, we've only got the small countries, or my belief is only the small countries open at the moment. So we haven't opened up in Japan, in Korea, in China. They're working on getting China done. Sorry, Verona. So yeah, you've got India, the Philippines, all these kind of countries. So here we are talking about the UK. But what people don't realize is the opportunity in the UK is massive. The opportunity in Europe is massive. However, what's going to happen is that you're going to have people that are in the UK, that are in Europe, that are going to have friends and family in Asia, in England, in America, in Canada, in all the countries that are going to open over the next 5, 10, 15 years. And that's what I love about Isogenics is that you hear people talk about a legacy company. And one of the reasons that it is a legacy company is the way that they expand. They don't go into a country and just go, "Hey, we want to open in a country because we want to have more dollars on our books." They open in a country, they're set up, they have the products, they have the office, they have the staff, they have the leadership. So yeah, I get fired up. I'm pretty excited about what the possibilities are for the UK. In my eyes, Asia took time. It was their first real true expansion into a region that they were uncertain of. And it took a little bit of time. But now that it's settled, I think they've timed the UK perfectly because they've learned a lot with the expansion into Asia, which is now looking phenomenal. And launching into the UK, to me, timing couldn't be better.
Thank you, Al. That's awesome. I think it's just fantastic to also know that in Australia, as you say, the penetration of market here is so slim at 0.03% or 0.3%. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the UK going, "Hang on, I'm excited to build in Australia as well," as we are as well.
Definitely.
Jacko, can you hear me, mate? There he is, big fella.
Can you hear me?
Mate, Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, buddy. Loud and clear. That's, mate, your success sort of carries echoes all around the place, mate. I think it was one of the first people that I saw on stage with PJ in 2014 celebrations, and your story just hit both PJ and I very quickly, just going, wow, this is incredible, what you achieved very quickly, and your background. But, mate, I know you're really hunting down that 1 million residual. You must be getting pretty bloody close now, and got a fantastic business in Australia, obviously Asia and the US. Mate, I'd love to hear a bit more about your story and how you were introduced into Isogenics and those sort of early stages of how you started up a business from scratch.
Yeah, thank you. Man, where did it all start? So I was a huge skeptic. I don't know, I'm sure there are skeptics on the call right now. And I said no to Isogenics for about 2 years. Heard it, no, it's not for me. I had all these reasons why I didn't believe in it. And so 2 years went on where I just said no to it. And then for me, it eventually hit that point where I was 25 and yeah, I found myself like having to take naps, and I was 25 years old, but I needed coffee to keep my eyes open. And it kind of just dawned on me that this shouldn't be normal. Like I should be in the prime of my life right now, not no energy, sleeping on the couch, etc. So I knew I was doing something wrong. I knew this wasn't the way. I knew I was doing something wrong to cause my body to be like this. And I started to see all these before and afters. I'm sure some of you guys on the call have seen on other people's Facebooks, etc. I started to see these before and afters of these people that were getting results like a quarter of the time it was taking me to get them. Yet I was doing this chicken, broccoli, sweet potato kind of diet, which sucked. And I'm not a good cook, so my chicken was dry all the time. But I saw all these people getting results, and I started to get a bit frustrated and a bit jealous that why are they looking so good? But more importantly, when you read their story, talking about how amazing they actually feel, and I'm over here struggling. So I eventually reached out. If you guys know what CrossFit is, I reached out to my CrossFit box owner, and she told me it was Isogenics, and I kind of rolled my eyes and I was like, well, I'm not interested in that. I've said no to that for probably about 2 years now. And she asked me this question that hit me just like the question I asked Allan said it hit him, which was, she asked me, well, do you know what it is, or do you think you know what it is? And I really had no answer to that because I didn't really know what it was all about. I kind of just thought I did. And so I went to something like this, but it was just in someone's home, and they were sharing stories, and we were watching a video and things like that. And it made sense to me. Like it made sense, yep, the toxins I'm putting in my body, that's why I can't keep my eyes open, all that kind of stuff. It made sense to me, but I still couldn't take that next step and I guess commit to doing it myself. I had a bit of an ego about me, so that was hard to kind of push aside. But then they talked about this money back guarantee. And with my kind of personality, if there's no risk, I'll basically do anything or nearly anything. So I signed up, I ordered my products, and the next 30 days, my body just absolutely transformed. And that kind of started it as a journey where people knew that I really loved health and fitness, and I loved taking care of my body, and they knew I wouldn't put anything in my body if I did believe in it. And so when they started to A, see my body transform, but B, notice my energy and not having to go to smoko coffees and all that kind of stuff, that was when the questions started to come out. What are you doing? What's new? What new workout plan are you doing? What is it? They knew something different was happening. And then I was just able to kind of naturally, organically share, this is what I'm doing. It's got a money back guarantee. Trust me enough to try it. And that kind of started the domino effect. And that was about 3 years ago now.
Awesome. Sorry, mate. I just I was on mute there. Did it again. Mate, thanks so much for sharing that, like just sort of giving the insight of how it all came about for you. A lot of these guys don't know who you are, like we all do. And so
just a normal dude.
Just a normal dude. Yeah, exactly. And touching on that as well, like Bruce said, you know, the first event that that I ever went to, it was actually seeing you on stage and hearing your story and really knowing that you're just an everyday person, you know, like that you're not anything, you know, special, if you want to say that, not without trying to, you know, make you sound bad or anything. But I was just like, you know what, if this guy can do what he's achieved in this business, then why can't I? And that was the real big penny drop moment for me. So, and that's really why I started building this business. But what I think a lot of people would love to hear is a little bit more about from that point where you obviously love the products and you decided, okay, I'm going to give this business a crack, to the point where you are now, which is, are you 3 years in or just done?
Just over, I think 3 years, 3 months, something like that.
3 years, 3 months. So yeah, just sharing, you know, a little bit about that journey, like especially in the early days, but also like what has it done for you in terms of your life, your lifestyle, and how did you actually build this business so quickly? Because you did build it really quickly. I think a lot of people would really love to hear a bit more of the detail around that as well.
Okay. What do I want to say to that? So before Isogenics, or when I started Isogenics, I was also just working in a warehouse. So I was like a picker packer, packing boxes and driving a forklift around. And I also had a second job because I was in that place financially where I had 2 jobs, yet I had no money on the weekend. It was, you know, that saying, you've got, you don't have enough time, and you've got, like, I used to stress that, man, if something happens to my car, like I can't afford to fix it kind of thing. I was in that kind of position and I didn't really know how to get out of it. All I knew how to do was I was doing overtime a lot and it was making me more money a little bit, but I was kind of stuck in this place. So when I learned about the business side of Isogenics, I'd never really done anything like this before. I'd never done sales or never anything like that. I was just a warehouse worker. But kind of how I saw it, I saw it like a franchise. So before Isogenics, I started to look at other ways I could get ahead in life and make more money. And I looked at most things you needed a lot of capital, like investments and buying businesses. And I obviously didn't have that. And I was really drawn to like franchises because, like I was saying, I'm just your average guy. I don't really have any business experience or anything like that, but I have the work ethic. So I was looking for a franchise. I'll use McDonald's. It's not a healthy example, but McDonald's from a business standpoint is amazing because they tell you what to do, how to do it, how to cook it, what to call it, how to set up your shop, how to hire your staff, how to train you. They give you everything. The only downfall is, A, obviously it's not very healthy, but B, I think you need like $1 million cash in the bank before McDonald's would even talk to you. And so I saw this as just like a virtual franchise. Isogenics tells us how to do it, what to do. They train us. They do the product and shipping and the research. And Isogenics does absolutely everything for us. They just need people to plug into the system and give the effort and energy. And obviously with McDonald's, you need $1 million up front kind of thing. With Isogenics, it's $500-600 or whatever it's going to be in the UK. So I saw it from the start as a franchise, and I just followed what Isogenics kind of told me to do, because the only way Isogenics can be successful is if people like you, me, the other people on this call, they're successful. So Isogenics goes out of their way. They move mountains to kind of help you be as successful as you want to be. And to answer your other questions, how I built quickly, it's really... So, I mean, this name isn't going to mean anything to most people, but our #1 income earner in Australia, Jen and Jono Patch, I met with them and I asked the same question to them. I wanted their success. I wanted to build fast. I hated my job so much, and I didn't care about the money. I just didn't want to work in a warehouse that I used to dread. Like, you know, you get that feeling in your stomach when you're driving to work. I didn't want to be there anymore. And so I went to them and asked them for the same advice. And their advice they gave me, and I'll pass on to you guys, was they actually said, Jax, if you want to go fast, it's not about the time, it's about the number of conversations. And they said, if you need to be where you want to be, it might take you 1,000 conversations for example, 1,000 genuine conversations with people. And they said, it's really up to you if you spread that over 10 years, over 2 years, over a year, over 6 months, whatever it is. It's not about the time. It's about how many conversations you have. And kind of when I heard that, that was when it really triggered with me that I don't have to wait years and years to have success. I can have it now if I just have the conversations. So I started connecting with people, and like my only mission was to let everybody know that this is available to them. If they want to do it, great. If they don't, that's okay too. It doesn't bother me. But my only job was to let everyone know this is here for them if they're interested. And what I found is there aren't too many people in the world that don't want either weight loss or to put on more muscle or to have more energy or to sleep better at night or to earn some extra cash or to, create some more time freedom in their life. So most people need what we have. Most people like going to bed kind of praying or hoping or wishing that something like this was out there. They just don't know about it. And so kind of like Allan was talking about now, he sees it as his kind of job to share with other people, because imagine if I didn't share it with Allan. It's the same thing. Once you feel how good you feel and you're able to experience the freedom that Isagenix and that residual income can create, it's almost like an obligation. You have to let other people know, because I know when I was stuck in my job, not very happy, stuck in a body I didn't really like, I wasn't a minority, I was the majority. Majority of people are feeling like that. So I just got to work and started sharing it, learning, growing, plugging into the events, the audio training. They give us everything. So that's kind of what happened for me at the start.
That's amazing, mate. Love hearing that story, mate. Absolutely brilliant. And particularly that it is the conversations, and it is all that. If you have those conversations, things happen quickly for you. Mate, if you were in the UK, just hypothetically, and you were starting your business tomorrow, what 3 things would you go back knowing what you know today and tell yourself, okay, if I apply these 3 things to my business, I'm going to have a better shot of success quickly?
3 things. Wow. Right. What would I do right now?
Whatever you feel. What would you tell yourself?
Good question. What would I do? First thing I'll do, so we have a call, when is it? Tomorrow night, Australia time. So I think it's, I think you guys are going to give the details after, but we've got a call tomorrow with the GM and sales manager for the UK. That will be the first thing I'll do, is get on that, but also get as many people as I can on that call. Because you really understand, I have the privilege of speaking to him personally I was in Texas a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that. And just hearing and understanding, like, it gives me kind of chills, just like what's going to happen in the UK. And so I would get that, first thing I'll be is get on that call and have as many people on that call, hearing from the UK general manager and the sales director about what their plans are, what their values are, what this means for the UK as a community, things like that. That would be the first thing. Second thing I would do is, if I was in the UK right now, obviously I would know I can't start growing yet or enrolling people, etc. So I would use it in the meantime as kind of, from now until when they launch, I would just use it as learning time. This is just like anything else in life. It's just a skill. I always compare it to driving a car. So when we start driving, well, hopefully I wasn't the only one, but when you start driving a car, you suck at it. It's all new. You've got a million things you're trying to think about. Do I do this? Do I steer? What's that rule? All that kind of stuff. But as you do more and more practice, you start to become better and better. And now you get to a point where you're driving, you're looking at your phone, you're singing to the radio, you're not even looking at the road, you're talking to the person behind you, but you always get where you want to be. It's because you've just done that repetition. So I would look at it as an advantage that, all right, I can get all my practice and learning out of the way now. So once the UK opens, I can hit the ground running. Whereas when I started, I had to go through a lot of growing pains. I made a lot of mistakes. I said a lot of the wrong things. I was new at it, just like we all are. So it'd be amazing to be able to use these next few months to listen to the podcast, watch the videos, learn the skills, go through the repetition kind of stuff. So when it actually opens in the UK officially, I've almost like got all my mistakes behind me and I'm ready to rock and roll. So those would be the two things I kind of focus on, really.
Awesome, mate. Thank you so much for sharing. I know that there was a couple of questions, but we also have to kind of wrap it up, I think. So you briefly mentioned about the call tomorrow. So I just double checked the time that you've posted. So this is going to be 9:30 a.m. UK time, January 31st. So Tuesday. And for people in Australia, that's 7:30 p.m. Queensland time on Tuesday night. Yep. And if anyone didn't get that, just shoot us a message and we'll get that information out to you. Like Jackson said, this is a very unique call. Jackson's managed to get the general manager of the UK Isogenics and the sales director onto this call just for you guys. These guys are orchestrating the entire launch of the UK and Europe, which is massive, like absolutely massive. We've heard from these guys a couple of times. They are exceptional people, and they're really going to jump on and share with you guys all about the launch, what it looks like for you. You know, you'll be able to ask them questions. So it really is, it is a call for everyone, but it predominantly is for people that are interested in this opportunity and to really learn about what that means for you and how you can make this work. So yeah, we'll got a few questions coming in, but we'll be able to share that with all of you guys as well. So, and just the other thing in terms of the weekly calls that we're having now. So from now on, we're going to have this call every single Sunday, 9 p.m. UK time. So this is where you can invite anyone that you think is interested and wants to learn more about Isogenics, whether it's the products or business or both. Okay, so that's open to you guys to invite anyone you like. And then the following evening, so Monday, 9 p.m. for you guys, we're doing a weekly training call. So this is for those people that are pre-registered and they're wanting to learn how to build this business. We're going to have myself and Bruce will be hosting that, but we'll also have some awesome people jumping on the call each week to really share their wisdom just for you guys. You know, talk about what to do, how to do it, go through all the fundamentals so that, as Jackson said, you guys have the next 3 months to tap into, or however long, 3 or 4 months to tap into that, so you can learn everything you need to learn about this business before it even opens. You know, and if you ask Bruce or Jackson or Allan how much we would have loved to have had that 2 or 3 months leeway to really learn and make all the mistakes, listen to all the podcasts before you even really start going out and having those conversations. Man, you guys are in an incredible position. And that's the other thing to mention quickly about this pre-launch. As I said before, for those people who want to register, it's just simply getting your details, your basic details in the system. So you've got priority of the first products. But what that means for you guys who genuinely do want to give this business a go and get a head start before it launches, it then gives you the ability to start pre-registering people as well. So you can actually start to enroll people into your business, you know, and then so on day one when the products launch, you've already got and built yourself a team, you know, a team of customers and people like you who are really wanting to build this with you. So it's an incredible opportunity that Isogenics has never done before in terms of doing a pre-launch before a country opens. And, you know, in terms of the pre-launch, the best call to be on is the one tomorrow with the GM, like I mentioned. They're going to fill you in on all the ins and outs of that. So thank you everyone for jumping on the call. Much appreciate your time. give us a shout if you've got any questions at all. And thank you so much to Jackson and Allan for sharing their time and their wisdom with us.
Absolutely.
So,
Good on you, boys.